Hello everyone, Barbara Drake here. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am using the stamp set Free as a Bird. It was in the annual catalog last year and it was a carryover, so I haven't used it yet, so I thought now is a great time. We have spring coming, spring is here. You got Mother's Day coming up. This is the cling stamps, and I'm going to be using the largest one here with the 4 birds and this sentiment here, the world needs more of you. And for the inside piece, I'm going to use this bird and this leaf. And it's an A2 size card. I am using soft seafoam. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and you score it at 4 1/4 and fold. This piece here is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is the DSP out of the Subtles. I'm using the soft seafoam design here. And you can see it a little bit through the design there. But I used the stitched greenery die. This is a very large 5 1/4 by 7.5 beautiful die. And I went ahead and went over that. You can see the back of the design there a little bit. And I took a blending brush with some soft seafoam. Goodness, I've got ink all over that. Get that off of there. I used a little bit of soft seafoam. Very lightly I went over this because I thought it made the stitched die stand out a little bit. You can see it's just a little bit darker than that one there. And here is another one that I did. I already have it glued down. You can see just a little bit there of the difference in the color. And I have a piece of white cardstock that shows up the stitched greenery die a little bit better. Let's see what is next. I used this is basic white. I cut out using the die. The Stitch So Sweetly, I used the largest of the scalloped edge here. And this is what I'm going to stamp the birds on. So let me get out my Memento ink here. And I'll make sure I have the right side. And I'm going to stamp this up just a little bit higher because I'm going to have a sentiment on here also. I wanted to leave a little bit of room. If you have the Stamparatus and you feel more confident using your Stamparatus, that's fine. And then I said I left a little bit of room down here for that sentiment, the world needs more of you. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends to color in the birds and the branch. And I'm going to start off with Petal Pink. I'm going to be using both the light and the dark. Let me see. I'll start off with the let me start off with the dark on the bird's belly. Got something on here. Really juicy. Just going to go over a little bit here. Let that soak in and dry a little bit, and I'll come back to that. I think I'm going to use, no, let me see. I used ivory. I'm going to have them a little bit brown here on their on their wings and on the top of their head. Then I'm going to come in with the lighter pink, petal pink on the belly there. And again, if you watched any of my other videos, I am no expert on shading or anything like that. I just go with what I think looks good. This is the light petal pink. Now I'm just going to come up here. I'm going over that dark and pulling it up. Now I'll go back with the ivory where the dark brown is. And it seems like the longer these colors set, they blend into one another and give it a really pretty look. Go back with the ivory. The ivory has a nice, pretty brown tint to it. And you can make your birds, you can make a blue bird. Come down here a little bit with the brown. Go over that. Like I said, I am no expert. Let that dry up, see what that looks like. For the leaves, I'm going to use both Granny Apple Green light and dark. And I'm not going to do any shading. Just going to make some of them light and then some of them dark. Now I think for the flower I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to use dark on this. For the beak I'm going to use light coral. And then for the branch I am going to use the soft suede in light. Now I'm going to go right over the feet of the birds. They may show through a little bit. The darker brown you go, you won't be able to see their feet. And as you can see, the branch gets more narrow down at this end. So the smaller the area, I like to just do a couple dots like this. So hopefully it doesn't go out of the lines. Now that one right in there, that's really skinny in there. And I think that's going to be a little too thick. So a few little dots. Yeah, went out a little bit, but there we go. Now I think I'm going to go back to the belly of the bird and do the light petal pink again. Just kind of bring that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to let that, make sure that's dry. And let me see something. I don't know if I want to do this or not. Where's that coral? It's a little too pinky. Let me see something. It's That's my problem. I don't know when to stop. It's like, well, should I do this? Should I do that? But you won't know until you try. All right. I think I better leave well enough alone. So for the sentiment, and I had it here somewhere. All right, where did my sentiment go? Oh, here it is, right in front of me. All right, let's see here. This is the world needs more of you, and I'm going to get it down here in this area. And sometimes it's hard to tell. I'm going to use Memento. It's hard to tell when your stamps are upright or not, so I like to always stamp off first to make sure it's not upside down. Oh, my cat came in. Don't be tapping on me, Lily. You hit my arm, I'm going to mess up. We don't need that. She will come in, and her nails need cutting right now. And she's a tapper. She won't meow sometimes, but when she wants to eat, if I'm in my craft room, she just comes in and she sits right next to my side, and she'll just reach up and just tap right on the side of my hip. Like, Mom, come on. You know what I need. All right, so I'm going to pause the video and take care of her. Okay, now that Lily's taken care of, we're going to start on the inside piece. And I'm not going to put a sentiment in it or anything, but I did want to put a little bit of stamping on the inside. And I'm going to use soft sea foam. I'm just going to put a little bit down here at the bottom, these leaves. This gives it a little more design. And I'm going to use, let me put some down here off of the top, coming down. This is soft sea foam is the hardest lid to close out of all of my ink pads that I have. And for the bird, I'm going to use crumb cake and just stamp it off down here at the bottom. Like he's standing down here. And that way I can figure out what, sentiment, whatever I'm going to put on the inside. So we will go ahead and get this put together. Now you want to be careful if you're using liquid glue on that, because of this stitch has a little hole, so I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll use just some of this adhesive if I can get it to come out. It's hard to see the way the glare is there. For the inside piece, I'll go ahead and use liquid glue. This is a quick card, and if you like to color, I think you'll enjoy using these Stampin' Blends. There's so many. Stampin' Up has so many images that you can use them on. I love coloring anyway. There we go for the inside. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on this. Get it to come up. I don't want any sagging in the middle, so I'll put a few there. Get this put on here like that. I know sometimes it's hard to tell if you've got all those backs off or not, but I'll show you a little tip that I saw that somebody does. Let's try to eyeball this on there straight as possible. There we go. They took their package of dimensionals, and you take a pen and you just mark them. You just go over them. I guess they took a ruler because they were all marked. That way, you know, when you go put them on something, if you see that, oh, there you go, you see that, then you know you've got to pull the top off of that. But I'd rather just kind of take my finger and touch it and see if I removed it or not. Okay, so you could leave it like this and be done if you wanted to put some embellishments on it. Now I had some ribbon. I've got 2 ribbons here. And this is the pale papaya. Now it looks really dark here. And I thought, well, it kind of matches the belly of the birds. And it's a little on the, I guess that's why it's called pale papaya. A little pale there. But then I had this. This is the petal pink, which is actually what I use. This is in the annual catalog. Is what I used for the bird's belly. Now I know it's wide, but it's not a thick ribbon. And I thought, let me try it. And I thought the bow turned out pretty good for a first time. And I mean, I know you're going to have some bulk in your envelope because keep in mind this is also raised up a little bit. You know, you could actually put this up here if you wanted. But I always use, when I'm mailing, I always use, excuse me, the non-machinable stamps anyway, so it will allow for the bulk. I mean, that's what the stamps are for. So I think, now I did that by hand, which I actually thought it turned out pretty good, but you may have a bow maker. But let me see if I can do another one real quick. I think it took me close to 5 minutes for that other one. But I'm not going to spend 5 minutes on this. I think the more you do this, of course, the better you are at it. Quick pull it. Like what? And you have to be careful with this ribbon because it is so sheer that you could actually pull those threads there on the inside. There, that didn't turn out too bad. Doing it by hand. So you just mess with it until you think it looks pretty good. And then snip it off, and then there you go. But I'm going to use this one. I think I like it. I think I like it better than the pale papaya. A little more color in it. And let me use my mini glue dots. We'll get that stuck on there. Seems like they always want to stick to my fingernail. And not what I need. Now I realize this might block the bird's head a little bit, but you could always adjust it. That looks fine. So there is their simple card. The world needs more of you. And there is the inside. Now, I don't know what that is. And I'll get that off with some adhesive eraser. So there you go. I hope you liked the card, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I have a host code for the month of March, which is right here. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can purchase any of the products that I used today. I will have them all listed below the video. And you can find more information below the video, excuse me, for my blog and where you can shop. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.